There's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Welcome back, everybody. BSL15, Nyokin, we're finally at the grand finals, and you know what that means?
What's it mean, Macho?
We're just at the cream of the crop, man. The cream of the crop, best of the best, you know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be down to Bonyth and Dewalt, man. You couldn't have asked for a more epic series here.
Yeah, it is indeed the cream of the crop machine. We've got the mega powers of the Protoss race in BSL. Dewalt, first time, maybe not first time, but if he wins here, it would be the first time in like 11 seasons for him to take a championship. If Bonyth wins here, it's going to be the first time in like 4 seasons, not nearly as long. But I was looking at the history of BSL. You know, Bonyth and True Touch are tied for first place in number of victories in BSL. If Bonyth wins here, he stands alone as the king of BSL. It would be a 5-time championship for him.
Man, that's 5-time champion. I mean, he was so consistent at it for a bit. Everyone started calling it the Bombastic Starleague, right? Like, he is just, you know, such a phenomenal player. And to think that he hasn't won it in 4 seasons is almost surprising, right? Like, he's just been such a dominant force. And like I keep saying it, man, like the dark horse this season, right? Everybody was talking about Mihu, you know, myself included, John Hoon. Everyone's been saying Dewalt's name for a few seasons now, but I mean, you can talk all you want, you can't get him knocked out of these tournaments, man. Like, he has dragged his way through that loser bracket to make it finally, you know, to the grand finals here, man. It is such a storyline that he's made it so far here to bring himself back into the finals.
Yeah, and both players have had insane opponents to get to where they are. You can see it right here. Dewalt versus Bonyth in the opening round. Dewalt wins 2-1. Dewalt takes down Boa 3-1. Dewalt takes down John Hoon 3-2. Meanwhile, Bonyth on the other side takes down NBA, takes down your boy. Then he starts getting to the real opponents, right? Then we start getting into the real all-stars of BSL. Zeke, he wins 3-2. Xiao Shuai, he wins 3-1. 3-2 versus John Hoon just a moment ago. Gets revenge for last season. And now he's going to be facing the ultimate weapon, at least this season, Dewalt. And he's looking to get revenge from that first round that I've already talked about. But it's going to be a little bit harder this time around because, as I'm sure the viewers have noted, Dewalt starts up 1-0 because he comes from the winner's side.
Yeah, I mean, he earned that 1-0, right? Like, he did previously take out John Hoon in a similar fashion to what Bonyth just had to muscle through, right? Like, you know, Dewalt has hit plenty of big names to make it as far as he did. As you stated, even took out Bonyth earlier on in this tournament, so he very much has earned that 1-0 lead going into this grand finals. But, you know, I feel like you can never count out Bonyth, even with an 0-1 deficit, to kind of get this one kicked off. Like, Bonyth has shown how consistent he is time and time again in PvP. And, I mean, you just gotta say, he's been the gatekeeper for Dewalt. Anytime Dewalt is looking to make that massive breakout performance, get that gold, it seems like Bonyth has been the one standing in his way. So you really couldn't have asked for a more epic grand finals here in this season 15 of BSL.
Yeah, and okay, our map is ready, which means our players are ready. So let's get into game 1. It is going to be Vermeer, Dewalt versus Bonyth. This is the finals of BSL 15.
And spawning top left as the blue Protoss, it is CWT Dewalt.
And the bottom left, you know who it is. It's the king of BSL. It's Bonyth. And something I noticed with the bracket machine as I was going down the list of players that Dewalt went through, literally, he played Protoss the entire way to the finals. Bonyth, then Boa, then John Hoon, and now he's got a PvP final. So if you think about how long BSL has been running this season, literally he's been able to exclusively focus on PvP. So even though Bonyth seems to always get the best of Dewalt in PvP, you got to factor that in. This guy has only had to focus on one single matchup.
It's true. Like, he really, you know, by hitting Boa, by hitting Bonyth earlier, you know, John Hoon, they still are the best, you know, some of the best players that this tournament has had to offer, but at least he's been able to focus just on that one matchup. I really like that you called that out, honestly, because I would say in previous seasons, when you're naming Dewalt's matchups and ranking them, right, PvP wasn't his best, but it feels like he's really made these slight adjustments this season, and has obviously turned out to be just such a strong, such a consistent, competitive PvP style.
Yeah, when we had the foreign all-stars versus Team Korea, I was setting up the matches, and the Koreans said they thought Dewalt had the best PvT out of all foreigners. So I specifically set him up with a Terran opponent because I wanted him to showcase his Protoss versus Terran. But I mean, he's proving us wrong that his PvP is definitely stellar. I mean, to take down all these Protoss opponents just one after the other in really the only series that was close was the John Hoon series, but that could have gone 3-0 because he had build order advantage almost every single game versus John Hoon. Now, as far as this game goes, I noticed that pylon right from the get-go, and as expected, it is going to be the Bonyth 2 gate.
Yeah, Bonyth 2 gate, and this time lucking out a little bit. It's going to be close positions as well. It looks like Dewalt's probe, though, going to scout this out, gets the vision of both gateways, yes, so really good scouting intel there for Dewalt, and going to actually back up with that probe a little bit. I like that. So he knows this is going to be a 2-gate start out of Bonyth here. He's got to expect these 3 zealots to be underway shortly. Maneuvers the probe around to try to bait some lost, movement time, but unfortunately Bonyth doesn't go for that, and he's got a second zealot of his own here. So it looks like Dewalt going to get some vision of Bonyth's main here, but Bonyth should have this 3 zealot pressure to start off with.
Oh, well, that forces out a battery, and that's 100 minerals that don't necessarily help you. So that's already a decent win for Bonyth here. And I don't think he necessarily even needs the battery, but obviously Dewalt's much better at Protoss than I am. We'll see if he does actually need it. The probe does help. And actually he did. Oh, he's got to heal it. Wow, that was very, very close. That Zealot almost ended up dying. Now he cannot let the Zealots in because we know how dangerous Bonyth is with Zealots. That battery ended up not being enough, actually. He is going to lose one of the Zealots, but Dragoon pops out in the nick of time, and he should take only minimal losses. One of the Zealots only has a decent amount of health left. Oh, he gets a probe. That's big. If he can get a second one. Look at that stutter step. I didn't even see him. I didn't even see the delay on the animation there. And he gets 2 probes. Now, that's obviously a fantastic trade for him now.
Yeah, that was an amazing trade. I mean, with such, with not much left, right? As you said, one of those Zealots was basically one-shottable. The other quite low as well, but still able to move in and does not miss a shot, on those Zealots connecting against probes. So very well done from Bonyth here.
An instant robo from Dewalt as expected. Meanwhile, I'm trying to think back to how did Bonyth play with this opener last time. He took a fast Nexus, and he did have 6 Zealots, if I remember correctly. It looked like a weird comp.
5,
he ended up losing the game, but we didn't really get to see a big engagement in the center of the map. Remember, it was that base trade scenario game on Vermeer versus John Hoon. So I wonder if he'll go into that heavy Zealot style again here. And that looks like it's probably going to be a robo. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, looks to be a robo. Probably not a bad call here, right? You got the probes early. Why not, just play a little safe. Don't take any risks. So the robo here definitely going to come in handy for Bonyth. Looks like Dewalt scouting out with a couple Dragoons might meet the 4 of Bonyth, though. He's got to be careful before really committing with these 2 Dragoons.
Yeah, he does need to be careful. Okay, he pokes in and he sees 4 goons, but he doesn't see the Zealots behind. So he may think this is actually a Nexus.
It might actually be a Nexus, it looks like. Probe sitting, yep, it looks like it's going to be a Nexus out of Bonyth here. Interesting, because I feel like this is normally how Dewalt would kind of play. We saw very consistently Dewalt take the faster expansion versus John Hoon, but Bonyth here kind of turning the tides a little bit. Shuttle Bay almost complete for Dewalt. I'd assume now he's going to need that Shuttle Bay to put some pressure, but actually Bonyth moving in here, sizable Dragoon Zealot force, gets on top of some of these Dragoons, but actually Dewalt a very nice arc here. Zealots being focused down for both sides.
Ooh, is Dewalt gonna win the micro battle, or is it gonna be Bonyth? Remember, Dewalt has the battery. I actually thought that Dewalt was gonna win that micro battle, but in the end, Bonyth comes away with an additional Dragoon kill, and remember, he's got the Nexus coming up. So he's gonna have eco advantage, he's not gonna have the Reaver advantage, but if he can survive the incoming attack, he's gonna be going into the mid game in a fantastic position.
Yeah, as you stated, that one Dragoon advantage might not seem like a lot, but when you're opening up with this style of build and taking such a fast Nexus, like, you know, those little advantages add up so quickly. I don't know what Dewalt's gonna have to do here. He's finally recognizing with the first observer, okay, this is a Nexus at the natural. Wow, that's a lot of Dragoons, and he loses the obs. So, oof, that's gotta feel bad, man, if you're Dewalt in this one.
Yeah, but Dewalt did see that it's 3-gate, and there's no way you can have a Nexus and a 3rd gate and Reaver. So that's going to be the one saving grace for Dewalt right now. He's going to have Reaver advantage with the shuttle, but the support pay is done, so the Reaver will be coming out soon. You can see the shuttle has just popped, so I'm sure the Reaver is queued up, so he's got maybe like 25 seconds or so to make an attack happen, and if he doesn't have success here, Bonyth's supply is really going to shoot up very quickly. That Goon army just looks tiny. I don't imagine this attack doing much, but maybe he can get some Miracle Scarabs. Well, there's one of them.
Nice connection. Probes going down. First Dragoon falls, and actually Shuttle a little out of position. Takes some big damage there, but actually Reaver's still alive for Dewalt here. Maybe Bonyth getting pulled out of position a little bit. Big connection on another group of probes, and it looks like Dewalt getting some damage done.
He needs to get those army, that army. He needs to. I mean, these goons are on the low ground. He doesn't have the shuttle anymore for the Reaver, so he needs to maximize damage with the Reaver before it dies. But it ends up dying, and I think that was a bit of a mistake. Now there's way too many goons for Dewalt to try and push the issue here, but he does have his Nexus coming up. I don't think that was enough damage, but he did, you know, kind of even out the game now. He got a decent amount of probe kills, and Dewalt's Nexus is coming up, but losing that Reaver is huge.
Yeah, losing the Reaver is huge, but I think it's playable. It's playable for sure here. He's gonna have his own Nexus up at the natural. We've seen these comebacks from these players before here. I would agree that, you know, Bonyth probably with the slight edge here, but Dewalt very much, you know, not gonna be prevented from coming back in this game yet.
Well, 15 supply lead for Bonyth already. That's a huge advantage in PvP. I can see that he has not taken his nat gas, just like Dewalt has not taken his nat gas, but the probe saturation for Dewalt at the natural, I mean, looks really big. So I'm just going to assume he has probe saturation advantage. Well, that's pretty darn big too, so maybe not, but regardless, big eco from both sides. We may finally get the big macro game that we were expecting. Actually, Dewalt over-transferred to his natural. That's a big deal. He definitely needs to get more probes in his main, and you can see Bonyth is pretty much perfectly saturated in his main.
Yeah, he really is. Bonyth's done a great job staying on top of that probe production. We're seeing both Nexuses still blinking. Reaver shuttle move out just as Dewalt's observer moves into the main here. Yeah, I think when he sees no units, he's going to know that Bonyth's out on the map and potentially looking for a big timing here.
Yeah. Oh, the probe just misses it. He just barely misses it. Look at this. He's gonna like this Reaver probably will die because he's not expecting anything to be here. Like Dewalt's gonna have to have instant reaction time.
Oh, here we go. Reaver moving forward, looking to get a shot off, but both players picking up those Reavers. So now he knows this force is here for sure. Ooh, very well timed from Bonyth.
Oh, he gets the Reaver of the Wall, and that may be all he needs to actually push this to a victory. It looks like there's an even amount of goons. Oh my god, that shot killed so many goons, and that even goon count that I was talking about, well, that's gone. The even Reaver count is gone, and this should be game 2 for the taking for Bonyth.
Yeah, I don't see how Dewalt can hold from here. Both Reavers and Shuttles still alive. He does have that battery at the top of the ramp to work with. Also a Reaver, but yeah. I mean, this is just already too much eco damage. All the probes have fallen at the natural here. And GG is being called here. Game number 2 will be going to big ol' Bonyth, man. He's tying the series up at the start and looking very, very solid so far.
Yeah, I called it game 2 because I remember Dewalt starts up 1-0, but it's actually technically game 1. But now Bonyth has tied the score, so that lead that Dewalt had, it's already gone, man. Now we're back into a normal best of 5, and I'm trying to think who had map pick for this. Okay, actually Dewalt is the one that picked Vermeer, and you know what that means.
We're going to
Overwatch. Yeah, of course. It's going to be Overwatch, and Bonyth just doesn't lose here. So the 1-0 lead that Dewalt had, it's already evaporated, but it could actually be Bonyth lead in just a few minutes.
It really could, man. I mean, we talk about it, but he has just shown such consistency on this map. He picks it first for a reason. Like, might as well rename it Bonyth Watch at this point, right? Like, he, especially his PvT on this map looks particularly insane. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. Standard 2-player map. You know, we haven't seen any tricky proxy gates or anything like that from the 3 of these Protoss. Not from really John Hoon, not from Bonyth, and not from Dewalt. But you know, when you get to these grand finals scenario, maybe this is where you've been hanging on to something like that the whole season just to you know, pull off against Dewalt. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see here.
Well, thinking back to the John Hoon games, remember I was mentioning somebody scouted the mid bases, mid right, mid left bases. It was John Hoon. You know where they didn't scout? They did not scout top middle and bottom middle. So, as a fan of aggressive play, I would like to see someone take that into account and proxy at top middle or bottom middle and bring it to the opponent. But you know, that's a risky move. But 2K, if it goes unscouted, you know, I don't play Protoss often, but it is really hard to deal with.
It's really, really difficult, honestly, to deal with. I mean, it makes me think back to the earlier this season when we were watching the Asia regionals, and how often on these 2-player maps, like a Butter, like an Overwatch, we were seeing proxy gates and how successful it was, you know. But you know, we really haven't seen it as we've moved towards the upper echelon of this tournament. But you know, maybe now could be a good time to pull an aggressive play like that out. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, 2-player map, you know, shouldn't really be a big advantage for either player early on, knowing exactly where your opponent's going to start and all that jazz. So with that, it looks like our players are ready to get started here. It's going to be game number 3, I guess. It's going to be Bonyth versus Dewalt on Overwatch. And spawning at the top left as the red Protoss, the legendary Polish powerhouse, it is Bonyth.
Yep, and in the blue, our Russian Protoss, it is Dewalt. Now, I'm a bit sad to see no probe movement out on the map, but that means we're going to get a standard game, and as we've stated before, Overwatch near impossible to attack over that bridge. So we may get a greedy opener from both sides. We just saw Bonyth go for somewhat of a quick nexus and ended up transitioning that into a victory. So maybe both sides will opt into a fast nexus this time around.
I mean, it would be nice. I was even wondering if something like a 12 nex would be like a potential opener here from one of these two. PvP. You never really see it, but I know it's like very rarely occasionally used. I don't know. might have been a good call with the ramp and everything, but it looks like we will just be seeing standard gateway openers, no probe scout for either player just yet.
Yep, and okay, a little bit of a quicker scout this time around from Bonyth. Oh no, he's just scouting for the proxy, so he's aware, obviously, that it could be in the main. So good scout half right there to make sure that's not happening. Meanwhile, Dewalt does the same thing, making sure there's no proxies in his base.
Dang, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked, I guess. I mean, like you're saying though, if he's proxied at 12 or 6, could be a little difficult to deal with here, but both players scouting around. Looks like Bonyth moving maybe towards mid or bottom left with his probe, looking for proxy gateways, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, this map, you can literally proxy almost anywhere. I've even been proxied at the mineral only on this map. So it doesn't surprise me that he is going for, you know, like a full scout here, but it is way more uncommon to be proxying in those positions. Now, this is interesting because the probe went unscouted, and he's showing there's a normal pylon in the main, the second pylon. But if he can push this probe out, he could potentially proxy a pylon bottom middle and do something like 3-gate and just bring it to the wall. Because, you know, if your gateways are proxied across the map, you don't have to worry about that bridge.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's honestly like the perfect position to be able to go for something like a 3-gate here. The, you know, biggest issue is going to be connecting your units, but, you know, he should be able to do that. Still, I wonder if Dewalt will sniff this out. He hasn't seen a probe scout from Bonyth, and, I mean, Bonyth always probe scouts, right? Yes, this is going to be a pylon at 6 o'clock here. Nice little pylon trap there going out from Dewalt, though, trapping some of Bonyth's probes. And actually a citadel?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I can't believe that it's a citadel, but Dewalt may think something's up because he can't find the third pylon. Also, what are the odds that Bonyth didn't scout on a 2-player map? I think that's kind of rare, right? So this could be just a blind, intuitive counter to this. And the Zealot is sneakily in the main. Like, look, he's wondering, like, dude, where's your pylon? I know you have to have one because we both play the same race. I have a third pylon. Where is it?
Zealot going to get some big damage in the main here. This was just the perfect positioning for this Zealot to get some big damage done. One probe already falling, gas not being mined from Bonyth, and yeah, looks like his Dragoon's trying to pull in, fall back, and you know, be able to remove this, but not before so much lost mining time has happened.
Damn,
And
this
yeah,
was,
this is DT.
Yeah, this was a huge read from Dewalt. I obviously he knows that the pylon's missing, but does that necessarily mean it's proxy gates? You know, not necessarily, but regardless, this was a huge read from him. I think the chances of it being like proxy robo is extremely low, but if you go DT and hold position on your ramp and they go like DT, like potentially with a proxy gate, I mean, you can just hold your ramp forever, DT versus DT. So I think this is a good, really good counterplay from Dewalt, and I imagine that this is just going to get instantly destroyed unless Bonyth literally goes right now. Like, he can't wait, because as soon as the first DT comes out, this is done.
Yeah, like you said, he's, you know, he'll probably hold the ramp with a hold position DT, and actually, yep, he's going to get the probe scout in the main, so now he knows exactly what's going on. He's like, where's your robo, where's your gateways, where's your units? Dewalt wisely pulls back into the main here, and yeah, probe going back into the main as well. Bonyth has the Dragoon lead for the moment, moving into the main.
He let him in. This could get weird because I realize DTs deal a lot of damage, but you know, DTs are not ranged, so the goons can micro forever, and he has range, so he can, you know, one-shot probes with good control. There's the forge, because Dewalt might have thought it was DT himself. Now we're going to get into another weird scenario. The DT has actually caught the goons at the bottom, but you can see they're racking up a lot of kills onto the probe line, but that DT is moving across the map, and Bonyth is scrambling to get a forge up and some cannons.
Yeah, it looks like the DT is going to have to kill some units on that ramp in order to even just get inside the main. First cannon going down, second cannon for Bonyth as well. Yeah, these 3 Dragoons of Bonyth just continuing to do work in the main here. There's 3 DTs, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. Oh, DT moving up the ramp into the main. Right clicks the cannon. This is the moment of truth here. If he allows this cannon to get up, he might be able to hold, but if this cannon falls right here, right now, this could be the game.
Yeah, he's killing so many probes. I realized Bonyth killed a lot of probes himself, but the cannon's going to finish at the top. But you know what? That's only going to cover the Nexus. Cybernetics is exposed. Gateways exposed. Pylons exposed. Obviously, those gateways at the bottom are exposed. And this should be Dewalt's game. I can't see any world where he could possibly lose from this scenario.
Yeah, I really can't either. He can't even really mine all of the mineral patches in his main yet, it looks like. 2 DTs hold positioning on that ramp. He's got a scouting DT out there just following those Dragoons around. Oh, picking off this core is really going to hurt Bonyth as well, but it looks like Bonyth is opting to struggle along here and try to make a game of this. He's getting a robo. You know, maybe if he gets an observer out, you know, he can potentially push back some of these DTs. But from Dewalt here, putting down a 3rd and 4th gateway as well.
Yeah, he wants to end this game. Why build a Nexus when you can just go and kill this guy when he literally has no gate production? I mean, he has 1 gate, but he can't really build out of it. He's desperately trying to just build gateways at the top, so he can't even build 4 gateways up there because he just doesn't even have any room in his base. So this is just going to be a game-ending move in probably 2 minutes from now with overwhelming amount of Dragoons from Dewalt. For now, Bonyth has survived. Oh, are you serious? He's going to kill the observatory?
That's huge. I mean, Bonyth should be able to get an obs out, but still, how fast did those DTs take out that observatory? That was massive.
I like that donation. You need to say BSL into Artosis. Plays in it. Well, he's coming to Canada, right? He should make it next season, right? He's got the NA-flation.
Yeah,
at least that's what I've been told.
He's gonna hit 2,700. It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see all the talk after that. If he comes back and hits over 2,500, I would love to hear all the banter he has to say about NA-flation.
Yeah, man, it would be entertaining for sure here. Oh, big engagement. 4 Dragoons versus 4 Dragoons, 2 Zealots, but psych, there's actually DTs in this as well. Big damage here out of Dewalt, getting on top of these Dragoons, and yeah, this is, I mean, he could just kind of march into the main here, kill off this gateway. There's not really much of a hope for Bonyth here at this point.
Yeah, no chance of holding this. You know, maybe if he had a Reaver to try and take down the Coons, but not the case. GG comes out from Bonyth. It was a cute move, but it's a 2-player map. He saw there's no 3rd pylon. He saw you didn't scout. So that's 2 things that are weird. I think if Bonyth had sent an additional probe and actually scouted, maybe it could have thrown off the wall. But to have 2 things that are very weird, you know, Dewalt's just too smart for that.
Yeah, he's just, you know, he was able to sniff that out like really quickly. I'm surprised that Bonyth went for something like that on his map, right? We really haven't seen Bonyth try to pull out any kind of like gimmicky, tricky plays, let's say, so far in any of these series. But you know, when you're going up against such a formidable opponent like Dewalt, maybe you gotta, you know, mix in something like that occasionally. So still, Dewalt will be taking that game, obviously, on Overwatch, and with that, it should be even Dewalt's map pick here, so he's got to be feeling pretty good going into this one.
Yeah, and we know what the map pick is going to be. It is going to be Monopoly again. Remember in the interview we talked about, I asked him in particular, why'd you pick Monopoly? And it seemed like he had a big read on John Hoon. He knew exactly what he was going to do. You also have to factor in Monopoly's a map a lot of players are not playing in general, so there's going to be limited practice. Now, I'm sure Bonyth has a ton of practice on here. I'm sure he's got a lot of friends to help him out. But that is something to take into consideration when you are in a tournament setting like this. You know, if you can start off with your best maps and also win them and you're up like 3-0, for example, you know, maybe if the follow-up maps are not your best maps, it doesn't matter because now you're in the guy's head. You got them in desperation mode. They may play worse when they're at a deficit. And if Dewalt wins here, he's going to be in something like a 3-0. He's going to be up 3-1, which is match point for him.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much momentum that can be carried with that for sure. You know, as you stated, Monopoly is, I feel like, such a good map for Dewalt in particular. We've seen a lot of great PvPs on this map in general. You know, it's definitely one of those maps where something like a 2-gate opener can be potentially strong as well. So kind of, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. 2-gate on this map with those 2 eggs, it might be a little difficult to push up those ramps anyway. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. With this, both of our players are ready. Let's go ahead and get into game number 4. It's going to be Bonyth versus Dewalt on Monopoly. And spawning. Top left.
Oh my god.
It's Superman himself, Mr. Bonyth.
Well, I like this play, but at the same time, think about where Bonyth was building his pylons. On Vermeer, it was far forward. This is Monopoly, where it is somewhat close, but look, there is a slight darkness, and Dewalt has already scouted bottom middle, so he knows Bonyth is not there. This is going to be in-base proxy gates. He's channeling his inner Quark. He wants to end this. He wants to make Bonyth. He wants to stab Bonyth in the heart with a dagger right here. And this could work, but remember, look at the gateway timing. It's already started for Bonyth, and the pylon is not done yet for Dewalt. And Bonyth is someone that does scout somewhat quickly, so he needs to attack very, very fast once these gateways complete.
He absolutely will. I mean, we even saw him on the last game scout his entire main. So, you know, he's not a player who usually skimps on stuff like this, but actually we are seeing
Is he going to the right?
him. Oh, no.
He's going bottom.
He's going bottom. Oh, this is worst case scenario here for Bonyth, I gotta say.
And I think, didn't Bonyth scout to mid-right last time he was top left? I think he did. So this is an unlucky scout for him. And Bonyth, I would say one saving grace for Bonyth is consistently he has not cut the Zealot, right? Like he has never cut the Zealot. But unlike John Hoon, I don't think we've seen Bonyth build 2 Zealots. He always sticks at 1. And 2 gates in your main, and you're only on 1 gate, and this guy has a probe here where he can start building more pylons and batteries. You are in big. No, we cannot show it. Is that Envision? Is that Envision? It is. He's already given it up. Dewalt, you can't do that. Second gate is gonna come down. Well, maybe not. I don't know. He kills 1 probe, but he's already lost so much health on that single Zealot.
I'm really unsure about that pylon positioning. It's almost like he's trying to go for a forge or something. Well, either way.
He forces a lot of lost mining time, though. Like, look how many probes Bonyth pulled off for this. But it's going to be battery versus battery, and it is 2 gate versus 1. So, oh no, I think Dewalt's done it. It's 3 versus 1 Zealot, and he's literally almost not mining. Look how many probes have been pulled off, and they can one-shot these probes now. There's so much DPS on the Zealot, and the battery's about to complete for both sides. He needs to save that Zealot. Gotta save it. Oh, that's a big win. He's got to save that one for sure. That is a very, very damaged Zealot, but I think actually Dewalt may have probe advantage now.
Yeah, Dewalt might already have the probe advantage here. I mean, he's obviously just spamming these Zealots out, getting more and more probes, using this battery so well. But, I mean, Bonyth is holding for now. Yeah, probes are being pulled.
I think all the energy is gone on the battery for Dewalt. And Bonyth can save his own. Oh my god, the control is just insane. Not a single Zealot has fallen for Bonyth. I can't believe that he hasn't lost any Zealots. Now it's 1 versus 4. What is this?
I feel like he's done it. I feel like he held somehow. I mean, this is unbelievable. He's probably going to be producing another Dragoon now. I feel like he feels safe enough to get another Goon count out.
It's locked up. He's going to kill that Zealot.
What?
What am I watching? What am I watching, Machine? Machine, did you see a single Zealot die? I can't.
No, I didn't,
Not a
man.
single zealot. Bonyth didn't lose any zealots. If any of those zealots die, I think Dewalt easily has it.
Man, I couldn't even keep up with it, man. Like the cooldown timing on each of those like zealot sites, he was just cleaving through the proxy zealot pressure out of Dewalt there, man. And I thought that was a gimme. Honestly, I thought Dewalt had that game for sure. But Dewalt, doing his best, but Bonyth just had such magnificent reaction there to be able to hold that. That's unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah, it looked like the pylon could have been a mistake, but it forces probes off the line, which are just going to insta die. So I'm not sure if it was a mistake or not, but regardless, the control just ridiculous. I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's no way he can win this,
Right.
but he does. The Zealots got caught by the probes too many times, and I would say he steals a victory there because he had no clue that was coming at all. And now it's 2-2, and that's going to be an insane confidence booster to Bonyth there. Bonyth tried to play, gimmicking on Overwatch. It ended up falling, but it wasn't like he got outclassed there, right? Like DT, it's invisible, you can't see it. But when you out micro that hard, that's like, I'm sure Dewalt's thinking like, there's no way I can possibly go for anything like that again, because he will just get masterclassed in terms of micro.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he couldn't have asked for a better positioning there. Getting away with the gateways inside the main, 2 gate versus 1 gate opener, but still, I mean, that was just phenomenal control out of Bonyth, as we expect from him. And when he needs it the most, man, he ties the series back up 2-2.
Yeah, just unreal godly crisis management right there. Yesterday, Dewalt clutched it versus John Hoon, but I gotta say that was even better than yesterday's hold from Dewalt. I mean, absolutely nuts, absolutely crazy. And now it's gonna be Bonyth's pick, and he really likes Longinus, even though he ended up losing here versus John Hoon. We see him consistently pick this, so this could now swing into Bonyth's favor, up 3-2 if he can win here. So let's find out, get into game 5, who's gonna be on match point after this game is over.
And spawning top left as the blue Protoss, it is CWT Dewalt.
Up and in the mid-right position, our red Protoss, it is Bonyth. I'm not gonna lie, I'm rewatching the stream right now, watching these Zealots die, watching the Zealots for Bonyth not die. It's just insane how crazy that hold was.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't believe it while we were watching it. I was like, my brain broke. I was like, what the hell is going on? How is he coming out ahead? I mean, Dewalt, it's not like Dewalt wasn't targeting probes down. He was going for the Dragoon block on the gateway. He was making the right moves, but somehow it wasn't enough.
Just unreal. And I don't know if you ever want to get into a position like that as Dewalt. Like, do you want to go into like a 3-gate micro battle with just Yuns? I feel like now he's kind of obligated to just play, something like his 1-gate Nexus Robo or 1-gate Robo 2-gate. Just play a normal game, because if we get into any micro battle, well, Bonyth's probably going to win that. So I feel like now kind of Dewalt's just obligated to play kind of standard. We'll see what he comes up with, though. Remember, as we pointed out before, Longinus is a map that has 10 patches, big macro potential if you get into mid-game. You have a lot of potential with all-ins. I mentioned 4-gate. You can do that with this amount of mineral patches.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And I mean, when I just think this map in general, 3-gate is obviously so common here. You'd expect to see some type of 1-base heavy pressure play, just given the map, and no ramp leading to the main, which we obviously saw earlier. So yeah, this is going to be an exciting one. It'll be a little different, I feel like, than most of the games we've seen so far between these two today.
If we see that, actually, again, Bonyth is going for the late scout, or he may not scout at all. That would be a tricky move if he doesn't. Like, imagine this. He's now in the head of Dewalt, right? He has an insane hold. He showed that he can proxy and not scout on Overwatch. Imagine if Bonyth just doesn't scout this game, and he just uses that probe to his advantage, additional mining. You know what Dewalt's response is going to be with the no scout? Is it could be DT. And you could just go straight observer and have a massive hard counter with that single additional probe, bringing you even more money than usual.
Honestly, I like that read. Going, recognizing the no scout and going DT would have been pretty epic. But actually, we're seeing the reverse here. No scout out of Dewalt this time. Whereas Bonyth getting that quick probe inside the main of Dewalt here, seeing nothing out of the ordinary. Single gateway, Cybercore spinning as you'd expect here, likely for range. And second gateway going down in the main here as well for Dewalt.
Yeah, oops, I got it wrong. For some reason, I thought red was Dewalt here, but I see now Dewalt is top left. So yeah, I guess it could be Bonyth thinking about, okay, dude, well, where's your probe? And also, that probe came in and saw there was no third pylon, but I'm not sure if it was too fast for a third pylon. Regardless, Dewalt got his goon caught, but he will survive for now. And Bonyth, I think, is just responding normally. I think that's the robo at the top of his base. Oh no, it was just a pylon. There's the robo at his entrance now.
Yeah, I like the robo opener here, as long as he had the probe in there for long enough that didn't see 3-gate quite then. He should be feeling pretty safe to be able to hold on to a robo at this point. I think Bonyth's getting the slight advantage of the builds here just with that quicker robo.
Yeah, but we did see a similar... Did we see a similar opener? I feel like we saw a similar game where somebody attacked right before the Reaver came out. So maybe Dewalt could make an attack with his additional goon or so. For now, we've got the Battle of the Century right here, and it ends up, of course, being Bonyth in his favor. It's the first hit onto Dewalt's probe.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Little micro probe scout battle going on. Looks like Dewalt going to feel comfortable enough to move across the map here. Does have the Dragoon count advantage with that faster second gateway here. So Dewalt, or Bonyth rather, gonna need to play a little passive. Okay, now it's evened up.
Well, Bonyth got that single hit advantage onto the goon, and that's really good control from Dewalt. But that goon in the back is heavily damaged. Bonyth kills 2 goons. He still has all 3 or all 4 alive. Now he's going to lose. Oh my god, Machine, this is why I feel like you can't have an even army comp versus Bonyth, because look, it was 4+1 Zealot versus 4+1 Zealot, and in the end, Bonyth has his Zealot still alive and 2 goons.
Yeah, I mean, he does it so consistently too. Just time and time again has such great focus potential on each of those Dragoons, man. Like, he really is just the king of micro.
Yeah, and now, I mean, that's 6 supply in his favor with the Zealot. I don't think the Zealot even took that much damage, so it's going to be a full health Zealot. Yeah, look, it's taken 1 hit on its health, and that's a huge deal when your entire army is goons. Goons don't deal the most damage to Zealots. And also the Reaver's later for Dewalt, but it's not that much later. Like, it's going to be in time for an incoming attack from Bonyth. But Bonyth doesn't even have to attack now. He could build a Nexus. Like, that's the cost of 2 goons and a single Zealot, basically. That's 300 minerals that he doesn't have to use on units right now.
I would like to see that, honestly. Just go into a Nexus, take your advantage if you're Bonyth at this point. But it looks like Bonyth wants to move out and put some pressure here on Dewalt. I mean, maybe this is to prevent Dewalt from taking those greedy early expansions that he has done previously, or maybe it's just because Bonyth said, hey, I got a couple extra Dragoons early, it might be go time. But either way, he's got almost a 8 supply lead here, so he might have a window.
I think it's over, Machine. I mean, it's 3-gate versus 2-gate, and 400 minerals just went into a Nexus, and you're already down a Zealot and 2 goons. So again, Dewalt's gonna have to micro his heart out. I think actually Bonyth may have went a little bit too quickly, but the Reaver does connect, and both players are just gonna lose both of. Oh my god! The last shot gets the shuttle and the Reaver, And that's exactly what Bonyth needed.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was so close until that shuttle fell, but wow. Very, very big pickup there from Bonyth, and once again, just winning these little wars of attrition, man. One Dragoon coming in here from Dewalt, but it is severely outnumbered. And yeah, looks like Bonyth's going to end up catching this Reaver coming out of the Robo. GG is called, and game number 5 going to Bonyth. Man, what a decisive opener there, right? Like if you're Dewalt, he just overextended just barely off of having an earlier second gateway, having a Dragoon count lead, and somehow Bonyth just manages to turn it around and use it to his advantage.
Yeah, and you're just not gonna win the small micro battles versus Bonyth. Like that battle that we just had at the Nexus was really close, but I mean the difference there is there's Reaver shots. Anything can happen with Reaver shots, but in terms of Goon Zealot micro, feels like Dewalt does not want to pick a battle with Bonyth with comps like that. So he's on the ropes now. It's now 3-2 in favor of Bonyth. Luckily, it's going to be Dewalt's pick. It's Butter, which was vetoed in the John Hoon versus Bonyth series. So Dewalt can't even look at past history, just from an hour ago, and see what Bonyth went for there. It's going to be a brand new map in PvP for both players.
Yeah, brand new map in PvP, but both these players have come very practiced to this tournament. You can bet they've spent a lot of time on Butter, a lot of time PvPing, and they're going to go into this one with a plan. If you're Bonyth, man, you got to be feeling pretty good about this one. If you're Dewalt, you're up against the ropes here. This, going through the winners bracket all the way to the finals just to fall here to Bonyth is it's not something Dewalt's going to let slip out of his grasp here. He's going to go into this game with a plan, and like you said, maybe you just sit back. Maybe you focus on, all right, Bonyth he's getting a little better of these control fights. Let's play a little more passive. Let's get the faster expansion, and let's press Bonyth in other ways here, because like you're saying, these little wars of attrition here, these micro battles between 4 or 5 Dragoons each, Bonyth is just so consistent at it. It's really tough to engage him.
Yeah, so I don't know what Dewalt can do. It's a 2-player map. It's generally aggro when you have maps like this. There's no Overwatch bridge here. It's a little bit different. So if Bonyth forces a fight, like forces you to out-micro him, like if he goes for a 3-gate, it's going to be tough. We'll see what Dewalt wants to open with. Remember yesterday we saw Dewalt versus John Hoon, and Dewalt played a normal game, and he had a clutch hold versus 3-gate, so he can do it, but Bonyth is next level micro. It's going to be a little bit harder this time around if Bonyth ends up going for an aggro opener.
Yeah, he really is just like next level control. I mean, really, that's been the big difference in this, right? Like, these players at this level are so good. They're not missing pylons. They're not missing probes. Like, really, the difference maker just comes down to those fast reaction times, getting that Reaver picked up in time, unloading before the shuttle dies, the splash damage of hitting the furthest back Dragoon, surrounded by his best buddies. Like, it's really just been all the difference maker, and Bonyth consistently has been coming out ahead time and time again here. But this will be, as we've stated, this is going to be Dewalt's map pick here. It's a map we haven't seen today. And, honestly, just a pretty unique map in general, especially for this matchup here. So with this, our players are ready. Let's get into game number 6 here. It's going to be Dewalt facing off against Bonyth on Butter. And spawning top right as the blue Protoss, we have Dewalt.
Yep, and in the bottom right, 1 game away from the record 5-time champion, it's Bonyth.
Butterman, big map. I think a great map for this match in particular. There's just so much distance from main to main that it's like deceiving, right? We've seen 2 gates on this map PvP. but I feel like we still see more often than not just, you know, standard gateway gas tech. And also no ramp, once again, leading into the main here.
Yeah, well, I just want to get one big macro game. Like, just one machine. Can we get one game where somebody's not at a massive deficit once we get a big macro game? Like, there's been a couple yesterday where we had John Hoon versus Dewalt, but somebody was up like 30 supply. Like, they had an additional base. I'm hoping we get the macro game here, not just because, you know, I want to see it, but also it's butter, where it's potential split map scenario, where, you know, both players going to be heavily moving across the map, making sure neither player gets a mid-right or mid-left base. It'd be really epic to see if we can just see like 4 base or 5 base fighting over the center of the map all game long.
It really would be epic, right? And I mean, butter is such a great map for it. With those high ground expo locations, every single base has a gas at it. So, you know, we'll be seeing plenty of those high-tech units PvP that we love to see. But yeah, both probes catching each other in the center of the map there. Just identical scout timing, identical builds so far from each of our players here. Maybe Dewalt with a little bit slower gas, but only slightly.
Yeah, again, Bonyth, he just really loves his gas, man. I mean, it's only 24. It's not a huge deal in PvP like it would be in Zerg versus Zerg, but it is something to note that as the game goes on, Bonyth definitely wants that gas for more high-tech units. And Bonyth doing that probe harass, which he loves to do for some reason, onto the gas. And that's going to give him an even bigger gas lead. Now he's up 32. Should be 44 or 40 in just a second.
And you'll notice that even though Dewalt does the same harass, Bonyth at all costs tries not to pull those probes. Like, he really, really, you know, puts a lot of prioritization on gas income early PvP, which I think is great, honestly.
I'm looking to see if we're going to have a deviation from either side.
I think we do.
Yeah, there's a slight deviation in terms of one supply. Not sure what happened exactly.
From Dewalt.
Oh, there's no Zealot? I just now realized that. Okay, so this is the first time we actually have not seen a Zealot be built from one of the players. Every game yesterday versus John Hoon, and every game today, Bonyth versus John Hoon and Dewalt up until now, everybody was building that additional Zealot. Now, that's a second gate for Bonyth. Meanwhile, Dewalt, I don't see a second gate, and he hasn't spent his gas yet.
Yeah, he hasn't spent his gas yet, but...
Look at this.
Oof. Wow, gets the probe. Look at that control. Insane. That's so tough to do.
Yeah, it looks easy, and it's actually really hard to do. Like, in fact, when I get on ladder and somebody does that to me, I'm like, okay, your MMR is what, 1800? But I'm actually just getting smurfed because I see you doing this move, which, you know, only much higher players can do.
Yeah, it's really funny how you say that because it's so true. On ladder a lot of the time, I can tell, like, you can tell when someone's really good based on just their worker control, right? Like, that's the factor, you know? It's not like their build or something like that. It's like, oh man, he knows how to, like, moving shot with a probe. Like, pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's rare where I get into a game and then, like, I realize, like, after I get murdered in the center of the map that somebody's good. It's usually, like, something subtle, like at the 2-minute mark, how they control their probe or they, like, stutter step their Zealot. And I'm like, okay, we're in trouble. Well, we have a move out, and speaking of being in trouble, because Dewalt doesn't have that Zealot, he's in big trouble right now. I think it's 4 goons versus just 3. And remember, he has the Zealot advantage. I realize Dewalt has 3 gates. But this is the type of scenario that Bonyth wants, and those goons are isolated. No, not like this, Dewalt.
Oh, man. I don't know what he was scouting out for there. I guess a proxy gate, but ooh, Bonyth will punish him for it. I mean, he's got 3 gates, right? He might feasibly be able to hold, but he is definitely already at a deficit here. Okay, he's got a 1 Dragoon advantage, so maybe Bonyth will throw something away here. He's got to get that weak Dragoon back, though. Oh, instead he's going to lead with it. Zealot might take it out.
He loses 2 of them, but he does catch 1. He needs to catch another one, I would say, but he does kind of even it up. However, he has now tipped his hand that this is a 3 gate. Well, we can't be this far forward. He is going to back off for now. I think both players are likely to back off, and they will. Remember, Bonyth has his support bay basically done, so he's going to have Reaver advantage. But Dewalt does have a window to attack if he goes and follows up with 3 more goons. I think he'll have maybe like a 2 goon advantage, something like that, potentially.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, still though, that last rally of goons, I think, pretty much just came out of the gateway, so he's gonna be a little ways away from that. Robo also going down for Dewalt. I don't know. He definitely took the worst end of that last trade here. Oh, might try to snipe his ult though.
Okay, I actually don't think Dewalt has any chance of breaking this. This is 8 goons versus just 6, and even with 3 additional coming from Dewalt, that's still just 9 versus 8. But there is rally advantage for Bonyth, and there's tech advantage for Bonyth. So he also doesn't have an observer, so he has no idea where Bonyth's army is. Like, Bonyth's gonna know where Dewalt is at all times, so he's never gonna be caught off guard. He's never gonna be running into a concave. This is, I think, as good of a position as you could ever be in PvP. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was like the sacrificial goon. Oh man. Support bay going down finally for Dewalt, so obviously his Reaver's going to be quite a ways behind Bonyth's here. I think he's just got to kind of recognize where he's at, right? Like, he's got a deficit. There's not really going to be a chance of, a timing window to end this one if you're Dewalt. Bonyth might still pick everything up and choose to go across the map, though. Who knows? But either way, like, I think Dewalt should just focus on holding his main, holding his natural, try to play for the long game here. Oh, nice snipe on that observer of Bonyth. So that is actually a decent pickup here if you're Dewalt.
Yeah, that is big. But Bonyth is doing like what he did on Longinus, where he knows he's won the initial battle, and Dewalt has to guess, okay, did this guy build a Nexus, or is he all enemy? And unfortunately for him, he's all inning with 400 minerals into a Nexus, and he's now choked up. And my personal opinion is you can't be choked up versus an attack like this. He needs to be out in the center of the map. Now, in this particular scenario, if he's out in the center of the map, he would have lost, but I just don't know how you're going to stop this. Reaver, he desperately needs the Reaver, but it's not out yet, and Bonyth is not going to wait for it to pop, obviously. This forces an engagement. Dewalt gets good damage onto the shuttle, and Reaver right now, Reaver pops out. That's a huge hit from Dewalt onto a lot of goons, but is there enough? The Reaver is still alive for Bonyth.
Gets trapped on a Dragoon.
Over.
Yeah, big damage. Yeah, it looks like with that shuttle Reaver, Bonyth going to be able to hold, or be able to push in here and remove this natural. And yeah, GG is called out of Dewalt. Bonyth has done it. Unbelievable. Bonyth is the BSL 15 champion, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that was just okay. That's a pretty cool graphic. But yeah, that was just impeccable play from Bonyth there. He stole a game on Monopoly for sure, and that could have been the difference maker. Of course, we don't know if Dewalt would have won the last game. You got to factor in other factors, right? Momentum on his side. He would have been 1 game away. But regardless, in terms of pure micro, Bonyth, he's just superior, right? There was no game where I thought Dewalt out microed him. At no point. None. 0. So definitely deserving victory here. And Bonyth played to his strength, didn't let Dewalt get into his strength, which is the big time macro. He forced a fight every game. He said, I want to end it in 10 minutes. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, exactly. I like how you say, like, he didn't draw it out, right? When he knew he had his advantages, he pressed them. He didn't just leave it up to chance and give Dewalt some space to try to wriggle back into it, right? Like, he consistently was the one dictating the killing blow. And man, he played so well, as expected, to come back from, loser's bracket at the first round of the championship stage, man, and to drag his way through that loser's bracket, make it all the way to the finals, be down 0-1 against a phenomenal player like Dewalt, who originally beat him, and then come back and win it, man. Like, what a storyline. Oh, so amazing.
Just crazy. And now Bonyth stands alone at the top of the mountain. Like I said, true touch down a notch with only only 4
Oh,
victories.
only
Now Bonyth
4.
has 5. Now, let me think, Machine. How many seasons of BSL has there been? 15? You're telling me
15.
Bonyth has won a third of them and True Touch has the other 4? So literally 2 people have won like 60% of the tournaments. And then who else has won? I mean, Mihu just took 2, so literally like 3 people have taken 75% of the BSLs.
It's kind of nuts. I mean, it really just speaks volumes to this game, right? How good you have to be and how consistent the top best, players can be at a game like this, right? Like, it is not, there's no luck here, man. Like, you got to earn these victories, and Bonyth earned another big win today.
Yeah, it was absolutely masterclass from Bonyth. Really impressive. And you could tell all season long, like you said, he's the dark horse. Not necessarily the dark horse, but everybody's talking about Mihu and John Hoon and Mead Dewalt because, he's my pick every single time. Bonyth really didn't get a lot of talk at all, but he slowly creeps across the bottom side of the bracket, which was an insanely hard bracket. And you could tell that this guy was going to be on top of his game just simply because of how well he was playing. And I am happy to see that he has returned to form because past 2 seasons, I mean, he didn't do well for Bonyth standards, right? There's a season he got second before, which is still amazing, but he was really, really wanting to be at the top again.
Absolutely, man, and he's finally done it. He's strapping that belt back around and strutting around on Battle.net now. He's got to be feeling pretty happy about this one, man. Very well deserved, very well earned from Bonyth, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing him play from here on else. But actually, it sounds like we are going to go to an interview here with Bonyth. So yeah, let's check it out.
Well, hello, Bonyth.
Hello.
You
are
here.
Bonyth, congratulations, man. Very well done.
Well, thanks very much. Well, it was a very tiring day and tiring PSL. Oh, God, so many games today and the whole tournament, and it feels good to win.
Yeah, man, I honestly couldn't imagine, playing at this level, going up against such fierce competition in John Hoon, in Dewalt. How do you feel like you did in this for these series, and how well do you feel like you prepared going into this?
Well, the biggest pity was losing to Dewalt in bracket round 1 because of that I had to go through basically everyone on the bottom. The road was so long. Again, what was the question? Because I feel that I didn't answer.
I guess just how did you prepare going into these last 2 series? Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I prepared only for Zanhun because, well, I just focus on the thing right in front of me. After that, I just took a break, 5 minutes, thought about what I'm gonna do or not against Dewalt, and so yeah. So basically, the thing I thought of the most, which was Overwatch proxy, did not work for me. So, well, maybe just better to leave it to my intuition alone and not think too much.
Yeah. That was really like an unfortunate one for you, and very, not something you would normally do. So I found it. It was probably a good call there, but Dewalt's such a strong player that he was able to hold that one. What did you think of the Monopoly game? I'll admit, I thought you were dead. I thought you were dead from the start. He was able to sneak the probit, end up getting away with the proxy gateways inside your main, but your reaction was just so quick, and your control was so good. I really enjoyed that one.
Well, when I saw the proxy, I was like, "Oh crap! This is bad." I thought on Monopoly you just cannot proxy, and then bam, in my main base. Anyway, Dewalt gave me like 3 or 5 seconds extra time by showing me his probe and pylon because he wanted to put down a shield battery, which allowed me to put my probes at least in position to do something. I don't know if that was the difference, but yeah, I suppose. Just pure micro battle there, and I happened to win. I'm glad because it feels good to win such a game.
Yeah, I felt like that was really the deciding game in the series where the momentum kind of started to change, right? If you're Dewalt and you have, almost a given game, that he, you came out with some very miraculous control and ended up, earning the win there. That one I felt like really gave you a big, confidence boost going into the next game.
Well, yeah, given that, well, essentially, so to answer that, after the first win, I was like, okay, now we got our best of 5. Then the series got to 2-2 tied again. Okay, we've got our best of 3 and so on. So yeah, each win is really important because, well, you're just one step closer to the win overall, and to have a win instead of a loss, it's a big difference. So yeah, really glad I didn't have to just try to come back, because that would allow Dewalt to alert me in some other way if he had the lead, right? That he would have that one free card to play. But well, fortunately, that wasn't the case, and I had that free card instead of him.
The other thing, go for it, Nyoken.
I was gonna say, yeah, your play was really impressive. I'm gonna ask for the Protoss players in the chat. Like the micro that you displayed, just absolutely nuts. The Monopoly game, I was literally out of my chair. I was losing my mind. You didn't lose a single zealot. Did you know that? You didn't lose any zealots in that defense. For the people out there on Longinus, you picked off. You had 4 goons versus 4 goons and a zealot, both of you, and you ended up ahead with a single zealot and 2 goons advantage. How do you do it? How can I go imitate Bonyth on the ladder? How can I become this micro god, insane control? Is it possible? Can you be copied? Like, what can I do to have control like that?
Well, to answer your initial question about the game on Longinus, I actually missed micro there. I thought I'm done for, to be honest. But it turns out, well, Dewalt did not play perfectly either, so I turned out victorious on that one. Well, how do you do that? I don't know. Maybe it has to do with my history of gaming. Like, I started with just team games, use map settings. I played a lot, just kid times, fun times. So I wouldn't just look at my base. Every matchup, I would go one base river because it was so fun to micro this unit, one hero unit that can win the game alone in every matchup. So fun. So maybe that's just the beginning of my style, how it shaped. How do you practice micro? I don't know, just control your units instead of macroing. And maybe that's the first step. Just practice your micro alone and don't macro in some games. Maybe you're gonna lose them, but at the very least, you're gonna practice the micro part.
Yeah, that is true. And I just thought of something right now. You're now the champion of BSL 15. We just got announced the BSL 2v2 ladder. I know you're playing in that. Is it possible we could see you win the championship of 2v2? Who's your teammate going into the 2v2 tournament?
It's very likely my ally is Ziki. Unfortunately.
That sounds like an unstoppable comp.
Unfortunately, True Touch didn't answer my question. I wanted to team up with you. I mean, unfortunate. Both players are very good, and that's the kind of players, Zerk teammates you need in 2v2. Aggressive, micro type. So yeah, Ziki has got it.
Yeah, I've had the misfortune of playing against you and Ziki in BWCL Clan Wars 2v2. It's not very fun to be your opponent, that's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have anything left to ask, Machine. You got anything left for our champ, or should we let him go? Oh, we got
I was
to shout
just
out
gonna
your fans.
say, this is now your 5th championship, and with that, you surpassed True Touch as having the most BSL championships of all time across all players. And just wanted to, not as much of a question, more just like, that is phenomenal how consistent you have been over these many years, and how consistent you still continue to be. And I know that we'll all be looking forward to seeing you compete once again next season of BSL 16 as well.
Yeah, Return of the King. Well, it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy to win tournaments. It's not easy. It's like
Oh, wow.
like when you put it into statistic, even if someone is the pretendant to be a champion, and he has the biggest odds. These odds are probably like 20, max 30%, right? Because there are other players really skilled as well. So to win a tournament, it's a long road, and yeah, it was a long road through the loser bracket for me as well, and turned out a really happy and victorious road. So I'm glad. Thank you.
We are glad as well. I guess before you take off, is there anything you want to say to your fans, your family, all those tuning in to watch you play?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank my wife for always leaving me alone, and so I'm able to focus on the game. And she goes out with the kid, so I have the room for myself, as well for all my fans who root for me. I know there are a lot of you out there, so I thank you very much for your support. What else? I'm gonna shout out to crunchySnack.pl for supporting me as well, for the sponsorship they give me. And yeah, I'll see you guys all on my stream maybe tomorrow.
Sounds great, Bonyth. Well, congratulations once again, and we'll be looking forward to commentating you next season.
Yeah, the next season already. Hey, all right, let me prepare.
Back to the drawing board. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bonyth.
Thanks. All right, Machine, that is it for BSL Season 15. Did it live up to the expectations? I mean, this is one of the longest seasons ever. It felt like it took forever as a player and a caster. I was like, wow, it's just never going to end, but we're finally done.
The king is back, baby. The king
back.
is back. Yeah, man. It was the longest season. I would say the most competitive season we have ever seen in BSL, right? You can't discount the Chinese competitors that have started mixing in the John Hoons, the Mihus, the Zhao Shuais. I want to say this has really been I mean, just the most competitive we've ever seen as far as like foreign StarCraft is concerned. And man, for Bonyth to stage such an epic comeback and come out ahead, it really just kind of speaks volumes to the state of foreign brood war at the moment. Man, this has been a fun season, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to doing it again next season.
Yeah, I am also looking forward to Season 16, but BSL 15 is over. Finally, we're at the end. We're going to have a break, and then we'll be back with BSL 16. I don't think we hit the goal, but I'm sure BSL 16 will be back in some shape or form. But in the meantime, ASL is starting in like a week or so. Your boy's going to be on the cast. We've got some
Yeah.
new maps. I got to tell you, as a Terran player, there's some maps I'm a bit skeptical of, but this map called Nemesis looks like it's the return of blockchain. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of cool builds. You should definitely tune in. It will definitely be exciting. And as a Terran player, carriers have started to make a resurgence. I want to find out how anybody can stop these carriers, man, because I don't know if you guys watched. I played versus Jayun the other day on a show match. Got obliterated by carriers. I really want to see what the pros come up with, especially versus carriers on these new maps.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see that as well. It's carrier control late game is something you've been calling out specifically for quite some time. I mean, when we think of Bonyth carriers, right? Late game PvT, man, like they're strong for a reason, man. That's gonna be pretty interesting. Definitely looking forward to checking out your commentary for ASL as well here this next season coming up. But yeah, before we call it, we gotta thank everybody, man. We gotta thank our sponsors here for the day. We gotta thank everybody who really had the amazing donations as well today. There have been, obviously the $1,000 donation. We've got even donations from Quark. I think gave out $250. Zeke, with a $35 donation. All this going towards the BSL 16 goal. We really appreciate you folks. All right.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so I'd like to just explain to you that since we didn't meet the goal, the BSL will continue, but I will look for the sponsor for the additional like those additional this additional $1,000. So if you guys know anyone who'd like to support BSL, it would be amazing, because in BSL14 we had Optimong being a sponsor. In BSL15 we have secret sponsor, anonymous sponsor, but we don't have a sponsor for BSL16 yet. That's why the donation goal was so big, because it was the prize pool plus the production cost of the tournament. So we are lacking only 1,000 to organize the next season. So I will do my best to find a sponsor to maybe support with this amount, and we will have everything we need for the next season to happen. So that's what I wanted to say. And from my own, I would like to thank you all for watching, and thanks to amazing casters for casting. They are doing a great job. Definitely go and follow them and check out their streams, because they are streaming. They are great guys. And thanks to my beautiful wife and to my great daughter, because I recently became a dad. She is 1 week old, and she's allowing me to cast, so she is a good 300 APM girl. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you for all the donations, and thank you for all the support, for being here. And there will be BSL 2 versus 2, but it will be casted on Trovo. But BSL season 16 will be back here on Twitch, so don't miss it. Join our Discord, follow our social media to be on point, and I'm giving you back to the casters. So thank you, guys, and see you next season.
All right, you guys heard it there from Zero himself. Just got to give a big shout out to Zero for once again making all this happen. You know, pushing the buttons, flipping the dials behind the scene to just drive our foreign brood war community closer and closer together. And yeah, folks, that's it for me. Thanks to all the players who competed this season. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to my wonderful co-caster Nyokin, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again soon.
See you guys next season. Bye bye.